Of the morning walk out on North Beach, heading to Glass Beach. About a half a mile out, maybe 3/4 of a mile out. Lots of rock beds all the way out, but it's just a pleasant walk in the morning, just after sunrise. It's a great place to begin a day. I'm glad to be back out here. Well, this is the first hike of 2020. Coming along the North Beach area, almost to the point here where the Glass Beach starts. Coming along here, and I have the first yellow piece of sea glass I found this year. Yellow piece of sea glass. As compared to a white, you can see that. It's very beautiful. I hope I find a lot more. This is that January 27th. It's after winter months and all the waves and all the storms, and so we should find a lot of good stuff out there. Aspects of finding sea glass out here on Glass Beach in Port Townsend is also come across some of this sea pottery from old pots, old plates, saucers, whatever it is. It really makes for good jewelry, good necklaces, things you can drill with a hole, and it really gives a nice. This has a little bit of a mint, aqua kind of flavor to it, or color to it, and there's lots of little pieces here and there. Sea glass. It's a good time to be out in January after the winter storms. Location to look for sea glass up off the beaches, sometimes up close to some of these logs that have been pushed up against the bank here. And so I was looking up here and digging through a little bit of the beds, the gravel beds, and here, really beautiful dark green teal piece. That's a really nice piece for a necklace. Look at that one right there. Some of that glass right there. There's lots of sweet pieces out here, especially in the higher up gravel beds closer to the bank or even by logs. So just sitting down in these gravel beds out here on Glass Beach, I've just been pulling up all of this, various colors. I'm just really looking for colors. It's hard to pass up the really nice big round ones though. They'll make great pendants for necklaces. There's a nice little sea foam. So just in a few minutes, picked all that up. Especially when you're looking for some of the really bigger pieces, I just found these 3 big pieces up higher, close to the logs, up higher, close to the bluff. And it just seems like the bigger pieces get pushed higher up on the beach and the smaller pieces are down lower, closer to the water's edge. So when you're looking for the different colors or whatever it is, or for pendant pieces that would be really good for necklaces or pendants, go up higher, closer to the bank there. Up high, close to the bank again, looking, even though I'd really like to go down in the rock beds closer to the water sometimes, but here's some really beautiful pieces. There is a little bit of a olive, darker green, and then I looked down and I saw this. I haven't touched it till this moment. Look at that, purple. It's a pendant shape too, perfectly. Look at that, beautiful. Kind of a lavender color. Sea glass. Oh, that's beautiful. That's one of the most beautiful pieces I found in the last several years. So I was looking along this one gravel bed here, and I looked down and I saw this agate. Actually, you find a lot of out here on Glass Beach, a lot of the white agates. This is definitely a, not just Chalcedony, but it is an agate. You have a little bit of the banding on the side there, you can see. And so when you have a piece of rock that's got made out of silica and the Chalcedony, you actually have an agate. But then I looked down, and as I was looking at that, I saw this other little piece of sea glass sitting right here. I'm pulling it out right now. Wow, look at that. Nice piece of light blue or aqua. Look at that. That's going to be a nice pendant. Oh, yeah. So here's a collection I've put together in the last about 20 minutes. There's this one piece of sea glass. It's sort of a sea foam piece that's, oh, I don't know. It must be about 2.5, almost 3 inches long. It's one of the biggest pieces I have ever found out here. It's probably about 1/4, at least maybe 3/8 of an inch thick. It's a really big piece. There's another green right there. Pick up that green. Look at that. So, yep, it's a really good time to be out here. Latter part of January and February, really good time because it's not been picked over. And what happens is that during the winter months, a lot of the gravel beds just really get turned over. And so when people think, oh, it's been all picked over, well, it may have been for one season, but you know, there was a lot of trash dumped here up in the 1960s over many decades, and so it's probably been turned, and it's down many feet. And so as it gets turned, as it gets the new stuff gets brought to the surface, you're going to have collections like this every season. And so for the next several months, you can come out here and you can find, even in the summertime, you're still finding lots of good pieces. I'm at least 3 pounds of sea glass each time I come out here. To the end of the day and got ready to head home, I really wanted to find one good cobalt blue piece of sea glass. And so I'm seeing this right here, and I'm going to pull it out and see what it looks like. Man, that looks really big. Oh, look at that, the size of that. That's about 3/4 of an inch long. It's really hard to find a good piece of cobalt blue out here. They're usually very brittle. They break to really small pieces. And so to find one that you can actually wire wrap and make a pendant out of is really, really difficult. So this is the largest piece I found today. So it's about 3/4 of an inch long, maybe about 1/2 an inch wide, a little bit less than 1/2 an inch, not quite 1/4 of an inch thick. So really good piece. Great find. So here's a collection I've put together. Walking out here just a little bit, but most of it was picked up out here after I arrived at about 10 a.m. and it's a little bit after 12. So this is about two hours and 15 minutes of picking up sea glass out here on Glass Beach in Port Townsend. And so there's a lot more I'll be out here about another 2.5 hours, but I'll have to head back at least by 2:30 or 3. And so you have to time it just right so you'll be able to get back and the tides won't cut you off, or depending on how your schedule is. But I didn't start the hike today at 8 a.m. until about 8 a.m. in which the tides were about 7.5 and they were falling. So you have to really be careful what you're doing. But this is the amount of sea glass, and a lot of big pieces, lots of color. That one wonderful purple one right in the front. Also found 2 marbles today so far in the last 2 hours. One of them on the right there is a very, very old marble. It's a kind of a medium-sized marble, bigger than the normal regular size ones, but really misshapen, had some swirls in it. And so it's obviously very, very old, from probably 1950s or 60s. So, all right, have a great time. This is what I've done the last 2 hours, or about 2.5 hours.